Hello there. Well, you know what time it is, baby. I was getting warmed up to review Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's do it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. I just got done watching Deadpool and Wolverine at the red carpet world premiere. Let me give you my thoughts. So in Deadpool and Wolverine, we are following Wade Wilson, who has now given up the superhero lifestyle. He's decided to live a calm and simple life as a car salesman, when out of nowhere, the TVA come knocking on his door, telling him he's become Marvel Jesus.
I am Marvel Jesus.
This will put Wade Wilson on a path to have a team up with Wolverine, and many fans hoping it'll be the film to save the MCU. That's all pretty much say without giving any spoilers to you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review, and oh my god, when I say stay away from spoilers, in fact, after you're done watching this video, close out the internet. Do not log back on YouTube or TikTok or any other social media platform until you have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, because there are some surprises. But let me just back up a little bit here. Obviously, you can tell I'm not in my studio. I'm in the Wolvussy cave, but it's because I got a last-minute invitation to go on the red carpet world premiere for Deadpool and Wolverine. And before you start thinking, oh, that's why this review is super positive and over the top, Marvel and Disney were not the ones that invited me. It was thanks to Spotify, which this video is not sponsored by. No, they wanted me to make a TikTok for them. But they did send me, on my first ever red carpet, a bucket list item for someone like me who just loves movies. You can see I'm still in my red carpet outfit, so frickin' go listen to the Deadpool and Wolverine playlist on Spotify. Again, not sponsored, but dude, I'm chilling for you now forever, Spotify. But even I can admit, I mean, the red carpet, being around the celebrities, the environment in that room, maybe deduct 10 points for my review, because even I can admit maybe there's a slight bias there, but still, this is a movie a lot of us were eagerly anticipating ever since that first Deadpool movie came out. There's been small, subtle jokes pointing at Deadpool and Hugh Jackman Wolverine maybe someday clawing it up together. I think the first two Deadpool movies are very well done, super funny, and I could just take 10 million Deadpool films, but I never in a million years thought we would get a film titled Deadpool and Wolverine. Sadly though, this is at a time where there's a lot more negative attention on the MCU. People thinking that they've lost their way, that there's no way this movie can be good because Marvel doesn't know how to make movies now. Or those same people will say, no, this will be the movie to bring them back, and Deadpool will be Marvel Jesus. Honestly, I was just thinking there's just no way this movie could meet up to the hype level it's anticipating. It's building up. It's just gonna let me down either way. After seeing the movie, guys, there is no hype level that this movie cannot reach. I really hate to put this out there, but I'm being as honest as I can with you guys. There is no such thing as being overhyped for this movie, because you are going to be shocked at what it provides you. Deadpool and Wolverine exceeded all my wild expectations, guys. This film, I cannot wait to see 10 times over. It's everything and more that fans are expecting from it. Like, we thought they were really starting to give away such major spoilers and things in the trailers. No, there are so many surprises from the beginning of the movie to the middle of the movie to the very end. It's a film chock full of stuff that fans are just gonna eat up. And you know, part of me thought, is that all this movie is gonna be? Because admittedly, that stuff wears off. No, that is not the case with Deadpool and Wolverine. Whatever hype level you have, Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna shoot through it. And I know that's a dangerous thing to say, but that's where I was at, and I was like, there's no way. Oh my goodness, it's all happening. Let me get into the insanely positive stuff. Anybody who doubted Sean Levy, the director, and in fact, if I'm being honest with you, I was one of them. I enjoy movies like Real Steel, Night at the Museum. Even Free Guy I found to be a bit of fun. When I heard his name attached to Deadpool and Wolverine, I wish I was jumping up and down. I wish I could see the vision of what they had, but I was doubting it. I was like, I don't know if he can really deliver what I would want for a big finale, especially with two stars like Deadpool and Wolverine with each other. And you were seeing that kind of hate online when the trailers were released. There was a lot of people thinking they were color grading artists and said, why does the movie look so dull and flat? This is the ugliest looking MCU movie. Sean Levy proved to me he had sauce I was not aware of. I was blown away by the action sequences in here. They are super well done and nicely choreographed. Not just that, the opening fight that you get in this movie of Deadpool with the opening credits, it is up there with the hilarious and amazing opening credits of the first Deadpool movie. And if you remember that feeling you got watching the opening credits of that first Deadpool film, That's a high bar set, but it does it here. The energy is just felt in this movie, and it is a fun ride beginning to end. Sean Levy has a really good eye for these R-rated crazy action sequences. I know his name was like in the running to possibly direct an Avengers movie, which he supposedly passed on. Kevin Feige, get that man on the phone right now. I would love to see his action scenes for the Avengers, because his action scenes for Deadpool and Wolverine, there's a lot of great moments in here. A lot. Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm also going to say it, is the funniest MCU movie. That's one thing that sometimes gets heavily criticized in the MCU, is their humor, the way it goes about it. But now that Deadpool is in here, and it's that self-parody humor, it's that make fun of Marvel humor along with every other cast member in there, this movie had me in stitches. It was a very funny film. The fourth wall meta jokes in here had me surprised at times. They were not pulling any punches. You could not tell me Disney was in there saying, you can't really say that joke. Oh, that's going a little too far. No. There's plenty of R-rated jokes in here where you're like, yep, classic Deadpool humor. One of my biggest positives, and the thing I was kind of most surprised about with the movie, is the way it does do what you're kind of wanting it to do, which is cameos, Easter eggs, things that comic book fans want to see, all that stuff that it's like, oh, of course you like that. You got that brain rot. Of course, little cameo is going to make you give the movie a 10 out of 10. It's got all of that you want. If anything, it's got what you were hoping Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was going to be, you know, a cameo fest, multiverse hopping things, stuff like that. This movie has that, but then it seamlessly transitions into a genuine, sweet, and emotional story. That's one of the underrated things that the Deadpool franchise has done really well. Whether you go back to the cancer story in the first movie, or Deadpool losing the love of his life, Vanessa, in the second movie, when there is serious moments, emotional beats, they find a way to actually take them seriously. Who would have thought that's something possible? And it's something I think Marvel does lose along the way. They can never have a serious, grounded moment without having that sentence end in a punchline, or having that sentence end without some sort of explosion or thing to divert you. It's like, let us breathe in to these dark, serious moments, and Deadpool and Wolverine have that. Deadpool is dealing with a lot in not wanting to be a superhero, the relationship with the love of his life not going so well, and not just him, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. I'm not going to say the performance or the acting is up there to the level of Logan, but Hugh Jackman Wolverine gets a couple of moments, a couple of speeches, very hard, in-your-face, insane speeches I was not expecting, that really add some serious weight to the movie that I was loving. There's one point in this movie where Wolverine is just going off on Deadpool, and the things Wolverine says in this speech, jaw to the ground. That's one thing they handled perfectly in this movie, is this weird dynamic between Deadpool and Wolverine. Because although you think, they just get along for the sake of the mission, no, there's a lot of butting heads. There is plenty of fight scenes between the two, really well choreographed, again, thanks to Sean Levy. But man, the way their relationship grows throughout the course of the movie, you just hope we get another time where we can see these two at it again. When touching upon a little bit of the villain of the film, Cassandra Nova, she was pretty menacing. She was a great threat. Her powers were pretty scary. She's got this really weird way of reading your mind that is just really gross on screen, but so cool. She's not going to be like an all-time villain of the MCU, but she will definitely be a memorable one. She'll be one where you're like, wow, that was a pretty intimidating villain. And you know, before I get to my negatives, when it comes down to it, I think most fans are going to be extremely happy with this movie. I think you have to be really grumpy or just down or a pure hater of the MCU to walk away with a frown on your face. There's no way you don't walk out of this movie just having a gigantic smile on your face and feeling like, wow, that was so much fun. And that's what this really just is. It's such a fun movie. There's going to be so many things you could pick at and go, that was kind of dumb, I don't know about that. But to me, it does the job of what you were hoping for and for sure delivers. My real favorite thing about Deadpool and Wolverine is that this movie was just a tribute to the Fox era of Marvel movies. We kind of got a sense that's what they were going for whenever we saw the 20th Century Fox logo in the void. But with everything that happens in this film and its overall theme, this is one of those movies that is kind of like No Way Home, where that was a celebration of the previous Spider-Man films and bringing up those spider people. This movie really does that for the Fox era of Marvel movies, and I think it does it well. But okay, getting on to some of my negatives, and I am going to be completely honest with you guys on some of the things I thought this movie could do better. For one, the pacing is lightning fast. Some people are going to be okay with that, and I'm not going to lie, I did like that. For the first like 20-30 minutes, so much is going on. No wonder that's what they were showing fans at press screenings before they finally showed the full movie. There is so much jumping story point to story point, reveal and cameo and Easter egg. But it does feel like it's so lightning fast, you don't really get to take in those moments and breathe it in. It's just cameo, Easter egg, nostalgic thing. And that's a dangerous game, because then the movie could have easily have came off as a fanboy's lazy dream. Throwing in stuff you know fans would just go crazy over, and that'll be enough to give it 10 out of 10 reviews. But it is that sweet and emotional story, and them taking the more darker and serious moments of this film actually serious, that really helps it stand apart from just being a cheap film. The other thing I'll say is, with that pacing, some of it is messy. There's story elements in here that I think don't just flow well one point to the next. There's like one or two scenes that just feel like, okay, we're just leading into an action sequence. We're not naturally progressing with the story. We're just doing a thing that we know is going to be a crazy, bombastic, fan servicey moment. And you think, well, Chris, why is that a spoiler? Oh, ever since Spider-Man No Way Home came out, every day it feels like there's new haters on that movie. More people who come out saying, you know, this movie is actually not all that great once you get past the cameos and the big reveals and the awkward spaces of silences they added so the audience can clap. Well, I'm not going to lie, those moments definitely exist in No Way Home, but I'm never going to call that a bad movie because I feel like that movie meant so much to me. I am very curious how the longevity of Deadpool and Wolverine will be, because I can easily see some of that eventual backlash coming into the film. There's a lot of jokes that feel extremely relevant to the time this movie is getting released. Not just from the language that Deadpool uses at times, where he does say it, and this is in a trailer, he says, "Let this man cook!" But some of the very specific jokes to, you know, Fox now being owned by Disney, and that merger, and the constant referential stuff to like celebrities and their relationship statuses. Stuff that I feel could date the movie, and then over repeat watches just make it lose a little bit of that authenticity and rewatch value. I also think the soundtrack aspect is going to be something that's going to be hit or miss for some people. The way Deadpool and Wolverine goes about the soundtrack in this movie is wildly different than the way it was done in the other films. Yes, there was still popular songs and whatnot that were included in there, but here it's very in your face. It's very, this song's going to play and we're going to go along to the beat of it. I was actually a big fan of it, not just because Spotify, like I said, was helping me out, and you can check out the playlist with Spotify. But I could also see some people just being turned off by it and going, I don't know if this song really matches with this scene, or if we really needed this, or why are we doing the Guardians of the Galaxy style thing here? But like I said, I actually really dug the soundtrack. But that's just more of a warning, because I do think the soundtrack use was different in here. But that's about it, my friends. Those to me are all like minor, really small nitpicks. I'm not afraid to say I was in awe and drooling at over all the Easter eggs, cameos, and references in here, but that story, it's still feeling serious. That's just the kind of tone I would like Marvel to take more in their other movies. You can have your silly, dumb, fan servicey stuff, but take the story at hand seriously, because we care about these characters. And man, is it shown in here, because like with the Logan stuff, while they're not trying to retread, you know, Hugh Jackman's goodbye to the character, they still pay tribute to everything he's done before, and this still feels like an extension to his goodbye from Logan, although I'd be very happy if Hugh Jackman wants to continue doing this till he's 90. This to me did not ruin Hugh Jackman's legacy. It built on top of it. The Deadpool trilogy is now one of the most perfect comic book trilogies in my opinion. I am so excited to go see this again, and I'm even more excited to talk spoilers and do a spoiler review, because that is going to be a lengthy video because of everything that went down in this film. So when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to give action 4.5 stars. I was shocked at the action sequences thrown in here. Sean Levy really does have a great eye for these R-rated scenes. The movements with the camera and the way it just kind of feels so fresh and fun. Really good stuff, Sean Levy. Humor in here, I'm going to give it 5 stars, man. I was dying of laughter. This is one of the funniest MCU movies, from the regular Deadpool style humor to the fourth wall breaking to the jabs at Disney and even Marvel itself. There was so much to love, and I was just laughing out loud a lot. Drama in the movie, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I'm glad that they took the story seriously, that they did have serious moments. While I won't say the story this time around is as powerful of maybe the last 2 Deadpool movies, its whole aspect of paying respects to the Fox era of Marvel films really brought it up for me, and I liked that aspect of it. This is the no way home for the Fox era movies. Horror in the film, I'll give 1.5 stars. Cassandra Nova does have a really creepy way of reading your mind, but there is a lot of blood, explosions, guts in here. One really crazy scene when a character gets their skin peeled off, and that's just kind of fun to see. But it's an R-rated movie. You're not supposed to take a kid, but you're a bad parent, I think, if you don't take them to see this, man. And suspense movie, I'll give it 3 stars. I will say you weren't that much on the edge of your seat on who's living, who's dying, or what's happening. You have a pretty good idea of where things are headed, but man, are you just enjoying the ride along. Casual moviegoers, I'm going to give this an A-. While they're still definitely going to love it, it is going to be the fans of the MCU who have kept up with everything. This is where doing your homework is really going to pay off when it comes to jokes, references, and Easter eggs, because man, fans are just going to enjoy it so much more, which is why Cinephiles gets an A+. And critically, I'm going to give it a B+. They're going to be a little bit more harsher on the movie because of its pacing and more messier storyline, but nothing that overshadows how fun this movie is. In my honest opinion, Deadpool and Wolverine deserves the 3C guarantee. Guys, I cannot wait to see this movie again. I cannot wait to talk spoilers with you guys. You are going to have a blast with it. Please let me know what you thought about Deadpool and Wolverine. Any negatives you had on the film, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff you're just not going to be negative about. You're just going to enjoy what you witnessed. I'm so excited for you guys to see this movie. Stay away from spoilers. Save yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.